Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green, and you're tuning into AMTV, Alternative Media Television. Historic night, a snapshot in time, a moment in history, the eve of September 11th, 2001, the 13th anniversary of which the President of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama, will make a plea for war. The same president that promised anti-war in 2008, more specifically an anti-war in Iraq, a withdrawal, now not only fighting illegal wars in Libya, helping to indirectly murder Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, fighting a second illegal war, bypassing Congress again in Iraq, with hundreds of illegal airstrikes targeting the newly fomented Durka boogeyman ISIS. But now a third war, the gross trifecta in Syria. The president, folks, he needs your support. But you see, what Americans fail to realize is that the United States federal government largely responsible for the most violent terrorist organization the world has ever seen, ISIS. Having run the guns, the Obama administration running those weapons of war from Benghazi that made up the scandal well known as Benghazi Gate, the death of Christopher Stevens and several other Americans, arming the same terrorists on the ground, groups like Al-Nusra Front with direct links to Al-Qaeda, helping to foment and spawn what is known as ISIS, or ISIL today. Picking up armaments, weapons of war from the last warmongering administration, George W. Bush, arming themselves with tanks, weapons of war, and military-grade armaments. Now threatening not just the entire Middle East with this Islamic extremism, this caliphate that makes up Iraq and Syria today, but also threatening us here at home in the United States of America. But again, most Americans and the general public failing to ask questions, just like they failed to ask questions on September 11th, post-September 11th, 2001. With two buildings, the World Trade Center at the time, crumbling to the ground after planes smacked into it. And mysteriously, a third building, Building 7, which didn't have a plane hit it, also crumbling to the ground with a perfect demolition unexplainably. The Pentagon also leaving no remnants of a plane, looking much more like a Hellfire missile had struck it. Again, the American people didn't ask questions, they just went to war. They supported George W. Bush at the time because they were scared. And again, when you sell fear, American people buy off on that. And it's exactly what George W. Bush did, and it's exactly the rerun we're living today with Barack Hussein Obama, and America is falling for it again. These fake beheading videos of Jim Foley, these highly post-produced events, again, only geared simply to propagandize and build the narrative for war. They've proven very effective, with recent polls actually showing that the American people support an attack of ISIS. The new boogeyman, the new Durka terrorist that the president just said a couple months ago was the JV team. You see, I think Barack Hussein Obama underestimated ISIS, their ability to coordinate. The two generals that used to work under the government of Saddam Hussein, now at the head of ISIS, well-educated, well-organized army, well-funded. And again, not just threatening the Middle East, but threatening us here at home. You know, this is a global chess game, folks. Us U.S. of A fighting our enemies. This campaign in the Middle East, a multi-decade-long strategy. Again, we want the resources, we want the black gold, we want the blood money, oil. We want to fight our enemies. NATO wants to fight its enemies. Brazil, Russia, the rising East that makes up China, Iran that controls a good portion of that part of the world. All of this a part of the U.S. of A's campaign for war. And now the president proving no different than George W. Bush, the great uniter. How about them apples, America? How do you feel about a new war? It's only a matter of time before we have U.S. ground troops once again on the ground fighting these terrorists. He'll arm the insurgents first. He's even talking to Congress a little bit about it, even though he's been doing it already anyways. But only a matter of time before this spills out of control. The next great war. America on the edge of a cliff. The president and the people that he works for, all responsible. You know, people ask me all the time, Christopher, when do you think the next terrorist attack will be? It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. Will it be tomorrow? Will it be in a week? Will it be in a few months? And I fear the second round won't be a couple buildings crashing in New York City. It'll be more like a dozen or so movie theaters, grocery stores, schools in your city, town, or state. Again, striking fear in the hearts of everyday Americans. When the fear alert is high, and again, there's a reason that the president is making this plea for war on the eve of September 11, 2014, the 13th anniversary of the terrorist attacks. Again, not a coincidence, folks. There's a reason for it. All of this a fear campaign. All of this a part of a much larger, intricate agenda. An agenda for war. Gross instability created by your government. These terrorist organizations, a very real threat, catalyzed by the same people now urging you to the battlefield. Will America buy off on this again? Will we repeat the same mistakes of the era that made up George W. Bush's campaign in this part of the world? Will we fall for it again? I'm Christopher Green. Get it out everywhere, make it viral, hard-hitting it in your face, and click the link below to support our sponsor. Check out our sponsor, JM Bullion, right now, the most trusted dealer in precious metals, offering a wide selection of products, including silver and gold coins from all of the government mints. Free shipping for AMTV subscribers.